Welcome, everyone, to week 3. It is the TCAA first week of conference play. Intro song shout out to the New York Mets clinching their spot to the playoffs. Let's see if we hear that song a lot during the playoffs and how long that goes in the postseason for the Mets. So, let's get right into it. Let's try not to have this be a long show. As always, apologize for last week, no show. I was on vacation, and it just would have been too difficult to get everything going, especially when I couldn't get a lot of stuff to the page. But got what I could when it came to the rankings and stuff like that. And let's get into those rankings right now. Let's dive in. Your new top 10. A lot of you seen it already on the site, and there's a lot of talk about it. So not everybody should be surprised on it, but I have everything updated on the website of who the new rankings are, the full list of rankings 1 through 36 as well. So if anybody is wondering what that looks like, you have the ability to see that in both areas. So first off, new number 1, congratulations to Jefferson Community College Southwest. They have been the strongest team or school so far when it comes to all play. So their percentage is very high, and then obviously they got 2 wins, and wins matter a lot in this league, based off with the new requirement or the new formula that we're using for rankings. Number 2, staying there, is SCLSU Mud Dogs. Number 3, the big move into the top 10 is the Taytown Criminals University. Number 4, Kentucky Bourbon Ballers. Number 5, Purdue Plague. Number 6, Presbyterian Blue Hose. Number 7, even with a win, drops down, DBAPU. He's already expressed his displeasure on winning and losing spots. And this is now his, as he said, his 3rd straight game going up against a ranked opponent. And depending on how he does this week and how Taytown does this week, they could face each other next week and both be ranked most likely. Based off the criteria. So that would be then 4 straight games for DBAP University having to face somebody who is ranked in the top 10. So a very strong schedule there. Number 8 is Allen Wrench Trade School. Number 9, Bushy Central College. And then number 10, Calvary Centurions. So congratulations to that new top 10. All of those 10 schools are the final 10 remaining undefeated schools as well in the TCAA. So there's really no surprise of why they're in the top 10. I think we'll start getting a lot more, obviously this week, they're not all going to be winning because some of them are facing each other. So we will finally start having some non-undefeated teams or schools in our top 10. And that's kind of to see where the all play will really make a difference on a lot of that stuff. So let's get into the matchups. Let me pull those up real quick. So this is the first week of conference play. So any of you schools who are 0-2, you still have a shot at everything in this league because your conference record matters the most on getting into conference title play. May not get you into the Final Four. Obviously, you got to do really good, but it has the opportunity to still be a very successful year depending on how you're doing in your conference. And so here we go. So game of the week is our new number 1 school, Jefferson Community College. They're on the road, and they'll be going to Jazz Flute Stadium to face number 7 DBAPU. Both schools are undefeated, 2-0. They faced each other 8 times so far, as they are conference foes, and they have a split all-time record 4-4. Based off of what they have in their lineups right now, for Jefferson, you got Lamar Jackson. Can he ball out again another 40 some odd points and still lose? You got Antonio Gibson, Jamar Chase, who wasn't shown at all last week, really, and then Stephon Diggs, who went crazy over on Monday night. And he's got Scary Terry in their lineup as well. For DBAP, he's going with Justin Herbert, Derrick Henry, and Jonathan Taylor. Both disappointing showings last week. Derrick Henry is not looking like how he was at all last season before that injury. Very 2 disappointing showing so far for Derrick Henry, and then Jonathan Taylor was just completely not used at all last week by Indy after getting shut out by Jacksonville. Got Devontae Adams and then Justin Jefferson there as well. Right now, DBAPU is favored by roughly 15 fantasy points in projections, so really good matchup here to start up for the Big Six and their conference play. Next matchup in the rankings, you've got number 3 Taytown Criminals going on the road to face Evil Empire University, who got their first win last week. These schools, historically, between other presidents and stuff like that, have faced each other 10 times, and they have a split record as well, 5-5. For Taytown, currently showing Kirk Cousins, who didn't play well at all last week, Antonio Gibson, Stephon Diggs, Mike Evans, who is suspended. He will not be playing this week, so you might want to make an adjustment. You got time, though. And Cooper Kupp and the Mark Andrews. For Evil Empire, currently showing Kyler Murray, who went crazy in that overtime game. We're getting into overtime, making that nice little comeback there for Arizona over the Raiders. You got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, A.J. Brown, Marquise Brown, Curtis Samuel in that matchup there. Currently, Taytown is favored by 12 points in projections. Next matchup with a ranked school. We have Telford Tornadoes dropping out of the top 10 after being ranked number 1 last week with their loss that they had to the Mud Dogs. They dropped out of the top 10, and they are on the road at Pestilence Stadium. I think I pronounced that right. Taking on the 2-0 number 5 Purdue Plague. These schools historically have faced each other 9 times between presidents and whatnot, and Telford holds a 6-3 all-time series record. For Telford, looking to bounce back, he's got Brady going, Montgomery, DeAndre Swift, Tyreek Hill, who went balled out last week. It was, didn't get to watch much of that game, but I did get to catch like the last 5 or 10 minutes of the Miami game, and it was fantastic to watch. And Cooper Kupp and then George Kittle. For Purdue, currently rolling with Josh Allen, going up against that Miami team. Austin Eckler, Leonard Fournette, Christian Kirk, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, who is doing really good so far these first couple of weeks, and then Mark Andrews. Right now, Telford is favored by 6 projected fantasy points. Next matchup in the rankings. Let's see who we have next. We have new to the top 10, number 9, Bushy Central College, 2-0, going on the road, facing the 1-1 Queensland Tech Hokies. Historically, these two schools have faced each other 8 times, and the Bushy Central franchise school here has got a 5-3 all-time series record in this matchup here. For Central, they've got Josh Allen going, Kareem Hunt, Rashad Bateman, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Mike Williams, and Kyle Pitts. For Queensland, showing Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, DeAndre Swift, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs. Currently, Queensland is favored by 11 fantasy projected points. Next matchup with rankings is another ranked versus ranked matchup. You've got 2-0, number 4, University of Kentucky Bourbon Ballers going on the road to DHL Field at Brockman Pickens Coliseum to face the 2-0, number 10, Calvary Centurions, which I'm still pretty sure I'm spelling that wrong or saying that wrong. I don't know why it's saying it's their first matchup, considering that they're conference foes, so it shouldn't tell me that because they obviously played at least once last year. So I have to look into the history of that now and find out why it's saying that. So no real way to tell you how they did face each other last year. But for the Ballers, they've got Mahomes, Derrick Henry. Once we're going to show how he is not the same these first 2 weeks, but maybe he bounces back this week. Joe Mixon, Cooper Kupp, Amon-Ra, St. Brown. If you notice, that name has been said many times on some of these schools that we're mentioning who are ranked. So no surprise there because he has had a really good last couple of weeks to start. Maybe Hard Knocks did something for Detroit, right? For Calvary, they got Jalen Hurts, who is doing a really good job so far this year. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, kind of not being seen too much through Seattle with Geno Smith as QB. Devontae Smith, Darren Waller. At this moment, the Ballers are favored by roughly 29 fantasy projected points. So big matchup there in the Mountain 6. Next matchup we have in the rankings. Let's see who else we've got. If I missed it, there we go. We have number 2, SCLSU Mud Dogs, winning last week and staying spot in that number 2 spot going on the road to Mary Knox to face a familiar foe in the 0-2 Vestal Tech Community College. These schools have faced each other 8 times, with Mud Dogs holding a 5-3 all-time series record. For this one here, the Mud Dogs currently showing Lamar Jackson, Austin Eckler, Jonathan Taylor, Stephon Diggs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, there is his name again, and then Travis Kelce. For Vestal, they got Mahomes, Clyde Edwards, Josh Jacobs, Mike Evans. He's not playing, so you're going to have to make a move there. Deebo Samuel, how does he do this week with now having Jimmy G as his quarterback instead of Trey Lance? Maybe we see the Deebo Samuel of last season. Hasn't really been off to the greatest start yet for how he was doing last year. So see what goes on there with Deebo. Right now, the Mud Dogs are favored by 25 fantasy projected points in that matchup. And then this looks to be the last matchup of ranking schools, and this is a ranked versus ranked matchup as well. 2-0, number 8, Allen Wrench Trade School going on the road, facing the 2-0 Presbyterian Blue Hose. They have faced each other 8 times as well, and overall, Allen Wrench is 5-3 in their all-time series record. For Allen Wrench, he's got Josh Allen, obviously, David Montgomery, James Robinson, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, Tyler Higbee. For Presbyterian, got Joe Burrow, definitely not looking like how he was all of last year. Offensive line for Cincinnati hasn't been all that great. And Burrow, maybe having that Super Bowl blues kind of thing going on right now. Nick Chubb been balling, but could have probably cost Cleveland that game last week by scoring that touchdown. But hey, for fantasy, we worry about fantasy points here. We don't worry about did Cleveland win, unless you're a Cleveland fan. Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Michael Pittman, and Dawson Knox. In this matchup here, Allen Wrench is favored by about 9 projected fantasy points. So those are your matchups of ranked schools, whether they're facing ranked or not. So 3 matchups involving ranked versus ranked. Like I said, though, when it comes to conference play, this is very important. Obviously, you want to be in a top 10 ranking, but your first move also is to win your conference. That helps you a lot of the time, obviously, have a better record overall. So may not get you into the dance. We saw that a couple times last year, but still get you into the money, still get you a bowl game and stuff like that. But still a very important week. So week 3, conference games, those 0-2 schools, this could be your chance to turn everything around as well. But that's pretty much it for today. Like I said, nice, simple, easy, quick. But reminder about recruiting, you have until Saturday, end of day. Probably tomorrow night, I'll be able to start working on updating my spreadsheet with recruits that have been submitted so far to try and get ahead of the game. Because I do work a lot this weekend coming up, so I want to make sure I get all that done so we can have our walk-ons for next week. And then it'll be kind of quite on your end, do the medical blue shirts the week after that before Commish goes on vacation again. Don't know what that looks like yet, what my ability is to do any shows when I'm gone, because I'll be doing a lot more traveling and a lot more other things during that one, but I will make sure rankings are done. So that is it for today's show. Hope you all are enjoying how these rankings are working right now with the formula instead of it being us coaches doing it. Definitely is different. There's a lot more movement than normally would be when you lose and you're like number 1 and you take that loss close to SCLSU like that. You're not dropping out the top 10 if we're doing it. But hey, we're doing the formula now this way. So if you guys have any questions on recruiting or anything at all, you know where to find me. Hope you all have a good week and good luck, everybody, in conference play. Catch you all later.